We're in O'Okala on Hawaii Island. The name of the property is Kamalu o Ni'upea. We're actually in Ni'upea Homesteads.
On a misty morning, Kay Lundberg and her dog walk across her 40 acres. She is one of the superstars of private forest restoration. People who set up conservation easements. This means they've agreed to set aside land for conservation purposes forever.
So my intent is to restore a native forest.
Kay and other like-minded property owners can get expert help, technical assistance, and other resources from an array of federal and state agencies. She's received top awards from many of those agencies for her and her partner's work here at O'Okala. It's an ongoing process, but her forest looks a lot different today than before, when invasives, plants and animals that crowd out or destroy native plants, choked the native forest.
The major invader here were pigs and strawberry guava. It was so thick, and then a lot of guinea grass was here, so we weren't really able to I didn't even know what the property really looked like. All I knew is we had amazing ohia, and I was advised, and I knew that if it wasn't managed properly, they weren't going to survive. And now that we're dealing with rapid ohia death, the threat is even greater. So we're planting trees. That's what we're doing. We're planting trees, and we're planting lots of ohias, so hopefully for the future.
Invasive trees, like strawberry guava, are water suckers. In contrast, native trees, like ohia, drip water onto the ground, where slowly but surely, one drop at a time, underground aquifers get replenished. Invasives use almost every available drop to expand their own kingdom. Like an invading army of giants, they swallow up virtually everything in their path, making it difficult, if not impossible, for native plants and trees to thrive.
It's overwhelming, the maintenance of it, because we have to constantly keep on it to keep the invasives. The strawberry guava, we're managing it well, but now we've got the tibochina, very thick, that we have to get rid of. We have guinea grass that has come in now where the ground was disturbed. So it's going to be an ongoing process. So I'm very grateful for a conservation easement, and I'm, looking for the succession plan here. This is a long-term project, way beyond my lifetime. So I am very intent that it will stay in conservation, and it will be very carefully transferred to the next steward. But this was probably this big when it went in the ground. And when we plant our trees, we put cardboard around them.
Kay feels that while the time and care needed to nurture lands under conservation easements is challenging, sometimes a mixed bag, she finds it extremely rewarding. But financing, equipment, resources, and most of all, passion, Kay says, are key. Our native species do not recognize land boundaries. Partnerships with landowners like Kay are essential for their persistence.
It's a long-term reward, and I think the passion is the most important thing, the passion for the trees. In my case, it's native trees. So I know how few and far between they are now, and our native trees are fragile, and if they're not restored, if they're not brought back onto the land, there will be no more native forests for our children and our grandchildren to see, because the ones that have been brought in, the exotics, and I have my own bias there, but I want to protect the native trees.
Restoration projects like Kay's might soon get a boost through an innovative financing mechanism called carbon offsets.
So, you are here?
Traveling not too many miles from the eastern slopes of Mauna Kea to the north, this group is visiting the Pu'umali restoration area. This was once a prime forest of native koa and is home to one of the most endangered Hawaiian birds, the palila. In the decades that followed, cattle ranching and a forest fire left the area unrecognizable.
We could get with the Botelho family and ensure that.
Now, Pu'umali aims to meet the challenge of combating climate change. This groundbreaking project will harness the power of public-private partnerships to replace entire forests and offset the very thing that causes climate change.
Now that we're in the air,
The carbon produced when we drive our cars, cool our homes, or fly on an airplane.
We invite private entities to partner with the state in reforesting this area, restoring Palila habitat, prime native forest, and combine it with a carbon forest project. So we want to have the reforestation certified by an established carbon standard. That's basically a third party that certifies that you are storing a certain amount of carbon by reforesting the area. So whenever we plant a koa tree, just like that, with the photosynthesis, it sucks out carbon dioxide, one of the major greenhouse gases that is changing our climate as we speak. And it stores it in biomass.
Restoring forests this way provides untold additional benefits.
Let's say an airline wants to offset their carbon emissions. For now, they cannot fly without fossil fuels, so they have to look at ways, okay, all these emissions that we put into the atmosphere, how can we mitigate that? And a project like this would be the perfect opportunity because it has so many benefits. Not only is it storing the carbon and sucking it out of the atmosphere, but it also creates critical habitat.
Just like Kay Lundberg's efforts around the mountain, just on a much larger scale, returning large landscapes to the way they used to be has countless challenges. You're at the mercy of the weather. Too much rain, too much sun, too hot. And that tenacious battle of keeping out non-native and invasive plants and animals bent on reversing any progress. Hawaii is on the forefront of this movement, which recognizes there are many things we can each do to keep our water fresh, clean, and abundant. To behave pono by recognizing how land, water, mountain, and ocean are all connected. If we protect our forests for life, they will assuredly help sustain our lives.
It is very exciting, and we are definitely taking a lead, and we're proud to continue this tradition of Hawaii to be a national leader when it comes to environmental protection and to conservation, and these innovative approaches such as the forest carbon mechanism.